Hey, if you're looking to start or grow a manufacturing business and a potential investor or lender has asked you for a set of financial projections, then you've come to the right place because we have built a financial projection spreadsheet template built specifically for manufacturing businesses. And we actually have a couple different variations of our manufacturing template. This particular one is kind of a simplified version. And so when you buy one of our manufacturing templates, you'll actually get access to both what we call a small goods manufacturing template, which gives you some very specific unit level detail. And this particular template is a little bit more high level and a little bit easier to fill out. I'm going to walk you through how to fill it out, how to use it, and give you some tips along the way. But first, my name is Adam Hoeksema. I'm the co-founder of Projection Hub, and over the last decade, we've helped over 50,000 entrepreneurs create financial projections for potential investors and lenders in all sorts of different industries and businesses. And today, we're specifically focused on this simple manufacturing model that we've put together. I have put a link to this template to be able to purchase this template down in the description of the video below. And so you'll be able to go grab that and follow along. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to give you access to a coupon code so you'll be able to get a discount when you purchase that template at checkout. So with that, I will go ahead and dive in here. Okay, so we're starting kind of at the end of the process here. This is the at a glance tab. So after we've entered in our revenue and expense assumptions and our fixed assets and equipment and that sort of thing, we are going to be able to see a 5-year pro forma projection here. And so we'll see a profit and loss at a glance, some key summary data about like number of units sold, your cost of goods sold, inventory turnover ratio, day sales and inventory. So some key manufacturing ratios and numbers that you're going to want to know. Use of startup funds, some different graphs and charts and key ratios. You'll also get a 5-year income statement summary, 5-year cash flow summary, 5-year balance sheet summary, and then the income statement, cash flow, and balance sheet all broken down by month for each of the 5 years as well. So you get that annual summary, but also the monthly detail if you need it. So we have a little bit of work, though, to produce these reports. So we got to go back to our input assumptions tab here. And we're going to start filling out the blue cells. Any cell that's highlighted in blue is an assumption that you can change without breaking the model. So we've got a manufacturing business here. We're going to say that we're going to invest $1 million into the business to get it started. And our fixed assets are a building at $1 million, $600,000 worth of equipment, and $20,000 worth of furniture. And you can pick what month that you would be purchasing this. So we're assuming that all this is in month 0, so basically the beginning of the model. But if you wanted to say, hey, we're going to add another round of equipment in 6 months, or even this particular equipment, you could change that to month 6, for example. The next thing we'll point out is that you can add loans. So we're going to assume that we have an 80% loan or an $800,000 loan on this $1 million building. And we probably better raise that interest rate a little bit, maybe 6% these days. So we're going to enter in that mortgage interest rate, and over 360 months is what we've got input here. All right, so now onto our input revenue tab. So what you can do is in this first row, you're going to enter in the number of units sold. So it's just kind of at a high level, not a whole lot of detail in how we get to sales. It's just how many units you think you're going to sell. You manually input that here at this high level. So that's why this is kind of our simple manufacturing model, because we're trying to just keep it straightforward. If you know what you're going to sell in terms of units, you can enter in those. And then you can add an annual growth rate to those units sold, and that'll automatically calculate your units sold for the 5 years. And then you can break down of those units, so of these 5,000 units, we've got 3 different products with different price points and direct material costs. So we're saying the skincare product has a sales price of $3, direct material cost of $1.50, and 1 labor minute. So this is the average number of labor minutes, and we'll get into the labor cost per hour or per minute here in a little bit. So 1 labor minute to produce this particular item. And then we need to say, hey, what percentage of our total units sold fall with each product. So we're saying 15% of the products that we sell are the skincare product, 50% of the hair care product, 35% the bath and shower product, okay? So that all adds up to 100%. Now, we can enter in our average order quantity. So this allows us to kind of break down the average order value. You'll also be able to enter in some inventory assumptions. So the inventory maintained as a percentage of next month's cost of goods sold. So we're saying we're keeping on hand $20,000 or 20% inventory as a percentage of next month's cost of goods sold. So we kind of have this lag of the inventory that we're holding. And then we've got a starting inventory balance of 5,000. Now, I had mentioned that we would get into the labor cost. So up here we said it's going to take us 1 labor minute, right, to produce this unit. So down here we're going to say, well, our manufacturing facility needs a minimum of 3 employees. Average weekly hours per employee is 40. average hourly rate is $21, and that's going to grow at 5% a year. Now, what this calculation is going to do, right down here, it says direct labor employees on staff. It's going to say, okay, at a minimum, we need 3, or whatever you entered in this box. So we start out, we have 3 employees, but you can see here, by month 8, we go to 4, and then 5, and 6, and that is a function of the number of labor minutes required to produce the number of units that you're producing based on these assumptions up here. So it's calculating how many labor minutes you need, and then automatically growing your staffing based on that. All right, so there's your revenue and your cost of goods sold forecast. Now we have an input other expenses tab where we can enter in fixed expenses or expenses as a percentage of revenue. So for example, let's say maybe you have certain transaction fees, or even like a third party, broker or something like that, where you're paying a 8% of revenue for the service that they're providing, right? So what you could do is select a percentage of revenue, and if you put in 0.08, that represents 8%. That's how you'd enter in 8%. You can enter in things like rent, utilities, internet repairs, maintenance, these sorts of things. You also have the ability to input salaried positions. So we've got a manager, supervisor, and assistant. And this is in addition to those hourly laborers that are direct labor on the line. So we had those on this tab. We have these 3 employees here, and then this calculation of the direct labor employees that we talked about. These salaried positions would be in addition to. So these are indirect labor wages. You can pick what month each position would start and end, and what their annual salary is, how many of that particular employee. So let's say you had 2 supervisors, for example, you could just change this to 2. And then you can enter in an annual raise percentage. Once you do that, we're back to where we started here at a glance, and you can see what your forecasted projections look like for the next 5 years. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, thank you for making it to the end of the video. So as promised, if you go down into the description of the video below, there'll be 2 links. One link is to where you can purchase the template. And the second link will be to a form that you can fill out. And when you fill out that form, we'll email you our most current coupon code that you can use to get a discount at checkout. So go ahead and fill that form out. We'll send you a coupon code, and use that at checkout as our thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you have any questions at all, reach out to us at support@projectionhub.com, and we'd be happy to try to help. Thanks.